Good morning. We were having a little bit of a technical difficulty. Nicole, I'm going to hang up and I'm going to paste the live on Facebook. All right, so just bear with me whilst I try and paste this live on Facebook. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. All right, so please accept my apologies for the delay. I don't know what was happening this morning, child. The devil was working overtime, but we are here and we are live. All right, so this morning I wanted to focus on how it is that you will lose the green card via rescission. Good morning, Nicola. Good morning, Statius. So this morning we're going to be focusing on the possibility of losing the green card. And it is such that, good morning, Zalita. It can happen. Whether you believe it or not, the fact that you are a green card holder doesn't mean that you are going to have it indefinitely. And I am referring to losing the green card when there was a flaw in the first green card application. So we're going to focus on that this morning. Hold on a second. I think I saw a text message. So if you're just tuning in, good morning. We have a delayed start this morning. You're listening to Legally Speaking with attorney Antoinette Osborne. This program is for information purposes only. If you need legal advice, you can contact me, Antoinette Osborne, at 718-502-9137. You can also text your question to 718-502-9137. All right, so this morning, good morning, Michelle. I want to focus on rescission of the green card. And rescission is something where when you in fact get the card, USCIS has up to 5 years after you've gotten the green card that they can rescind it. So if there were any sort of issues in your application and it is discovered in the 5 years, then USCIS will look to rescind the green card. If the 5 years has passed, then they will immediately put you in deportation proceedings. Child, I don't know what's going on with my throat this morning. All right. So if you are a green card holder and USCIS for some reason goes back into your file, it could be one of your friends, and this is where I tell you, be very careful of the friends that you keep, because sometimes they do call-ins. Yeah, your gracious friend may decide that they know your history, they know that you piss them off, and they know of the flaw that occurred in your application, and they decided that they are going to send immigration a nice little what I call love letter to let them know that your green card in your application, you had committed a certain fraud which they were not aware of, and they should look into your case. Or for some other reason, on their own volition, it comes to their attention. So this is how you can lose the green card within the first 5 years. It is actually called a rescission application that is done where they decided that within the first 5 years it was discovered you shouldn't have gotten the green card. Now they're gonna move to take it back, right? So in most cases, what happens is this: if your green card is rescinded, then what happens is that you revert to the status you had prior to the green card. So if you were out of status, then you're going to go back to having unlawful presence. Let's say you're a student, you're still in school, then you would go back to your F1 status. Morning, June. So if the green card is rescinded, you go back to the status that you had prior to your application, right? So it's either you're going to be in a period of authorized stay, or it is that you're going to go back to having absolutely no legal status, and then now they're going to move towards removal proceedings. So just tuning in, we are having some technical difficulties this morning. I hope you can all see me. And hi, Pauline, tuning in from Brooklyn. Don't forget to let us know where you are listening from. This morning, as stated earlier, I want to focus on rescission and how it is within the first 5 years of having your green card, USCIS can decide that they are going to rescind it, they are going to take it back, and you are requested to surrender the actual card. Now, if the person has adjusted their status and USCIS decides that at the time of adjustment, you were not eligible to have the green card, and there is no way they can use any lawful method to actually accord you with the green card. What they are going to do is they are going to look to rescind the green card. So this will affect people where at the time they got the green card, they were actually not eligible for the green card. So it has to be that it is an eligibility issue, that at the time you get the green card, you should never have gotten it because you did not qualify for it. Good morning, Yellow. Please forget to like the live and share the live, as it may benefit someone who is in need of the information, right? Now, who is going to send this notice? If it is that you were not eligible for the card, then what happens is the location, the jurisdiction where you live, that immigration office is actually going to send out a letter to you looking to rescind the green card. Morning, KK. Morning, Novelet. They will send out this letter, and there's a requirement that you must be personally served. And personal service for them involves either a government official comes to your house and they serve you, or if there is another adult there, they will serve that person, or they can serve you via certified mail. That's good enough service. So the fact that someone didn't come and personally deliver this to you, but they send it via certified mail, you have been served, you've been given notification, and you get 30 days to respond. Now, this is in fact particular serious because if you fail to respond within 30 days, then what they will do is thereafter just put you in removal proceedings. This is not something that you should take lightly. If you ever receive this rescission notice, do not play with it. It is not something that you just take the notice, because sometimes people will get notices and they don't want to deal with the stress at that time. The problem with immigration is there is a time factor to respond to any sort of notice that they send, whether you're doing an application and they do a notice requesting further evidence, or they send you a deadline that you have a certain time to provide a certain application. It is time specific, and it is not a forgiving sort of application. If it is that your deadline would have fallen on a public holiday, then you get the benefit of the next business day. However, if your case is electronically filed, then you don't get the benefit of the next business day. The reason being, your computer should be working 24/7. Their filing system is open 24/7. So you don't get the benefit of this. Now, another way that they have determined that they'll personally serve you this rescission notice is if you have created a USCIS account and they put that notice of rescission in the USCIS account. Guess what? You've been personally served. So if it is that you have not checked that account, that is your problem. And what you'll find, morning Natasha, what you'll find is, unfortunately, some people get locked out of their emails. I've had clients where they just can't get back into the email, right? And for some reason, I don't know if the forget password doesn't work, but they can't get back into their emails. So someone texted, "Greetings, Antoinette. When a person goes to Jamaica via a waiver to get the visa, having done the application through NVC, how long does the process take before he or she can return to the US? Thanks for answering. Blessings." All right. So if someone has the benefit of a provisional waiver, when you go down, mainly what you're doing is a police record. If you've lived in Jamaica after your 16th birthday, you should be doing a police record and you're going to be doing a medical. Once you've done your interview and they have approved the case, then you leave immediately once you're able to collect your passport for the courier system. Now, what happened is in COVID, we had a lot of delays. But the thing with the provisional waiver is you would only go down when your interview is set. The problem is if they had to reschedule your interview, then of course there's going to be a delay in going to the embassy. If you have gotten a requisition, then when you submit, you go back down to the bottom of the barrel and you have to wait. So that is why when you have your date, you should ensure that you have all your documents to provide to the consular officer, because these delays add time to you basically coming back to the United States. So your whole documentation should be in order, right? So someone texted, good morning, Miss Osborne. Happy Sunday. I recently received a visa interview for my son in Jamaica in January 2024, but I have to schedule a medical appointment before I go. The problem is there is no appointment date available until February. What should I do? You are going to go to your interview, and in February, your son who went to the interview is going to go to his medical. Andrews or whichever hospital that your son did the medical is going to send it over to the embassy. Thereafter, because they no longer give the applicants the physical copy of the medical anymore. Everything is electronic because it goes a bit faster. So he has to go to his interview. He can't miss that date. Thereafter, he goes in February to his medical, and then the hospital actually sends over the medical to the embassy, and then the processing starts back again. So the fact that the medical comes after the interview, that shouldn't be your concern. The process is still going to take place. Unfortunately, he will just not have the benefit of, as you go to the interview, you know your position, and then you're expecting your passport in a week or two. It doesn't work like that. Because there is a delay in providing the medical, then there is going to be a delay in the processing, because once the medical gets over to the embassy, it has to be reviewed. So I hope that answers your question. All right, so Nicola says that there was a question in the live, and I'm gonna try and see if I see it. All right, so I am not seeing the question. So, oh, Nicola said I answered it. Right. So this is what is happening now. The hospital in Jamaica has a backlog. So oftentimes what you're finding is the dates are coming now after the interview. So it's really going to take like a little time for the processing of that immigrant visa, right? Now, for back to the rescission argument now. So, God forbid that the card is actually rescinded, you get 30 days to respond, right? Amarilda is saying, let me see what Amarilda is saying. I see as if Amarilda is saying, purchase a house, got 2 kids, 19 and 20, married. What happens if they get a divorce now or in 2 years? I'll tell you this. For anyone who is looking to file for a divorce, I am going to, let me see if I can brighten up this place. Probably too bright. For anyone who is looking to file for a divorce, you have to understand, if it now work out in your life, right? Don't delay in filing the divorce. And the reason being is this: when you file your divorce, it stops the clock on your spouse acquiring an interest in your assets. So, if it is that you are minded to file the divorce, delay costs you. And the reason delay costs you is, for example, let me give you an example. You are considering a divorce, but you don't file. During this time, your retirement assets are increasing. The equity in the home is increasing, right? If you have stocks in the stock market and it is turning where the value is increasing. So by 2 years' time, because especially with what happened with COVID, nobody expected the value of houses to go through the roof. So anyone who was looking to file for divorce during COVID, but then delayed it for 2+ years after COVID, dog, I am your supper right now. Because if you were supposed to buy out your spouse's interest, you're buying out at a higher value. Yeah. The retirement, if the retirement increased, that money you could have saved when 2 years ago the value was less, it has actually increased. So you're paying out more out of your retirement. And this is what delay does. When if you went during those 2 years and you went and you accumulated assets, that's now marital property subject for a division. So you have to know, I'm going to move like a hurricane. Yeah. If it is that I have determined that this is not going to work out, I'm not delaying. I am not that stop and go type of girl. Once me start, everything I get floored. Some people like to hold on, right? And this could be because of some emotional factor where they want the marriage to work. And because of the history, the longevity in the marriage, they want, or probably because of the kids, they are holding on because they really want their marriage to work. And what you find happens is economically, in terms of your property rights, if you are the breadwinner, and not to say if you get an increase in pay, so now the person has a possibility of maintenance. And maintenance is such that it is the calculation, because there is a formula. We have moved away from the arbitrary, the person must have the ability to pay, and there must be a need for the maintenance. Now, maintenance now has a formula similar to child support having a formula, right? And if it is when placed in that formula that you are eligible for maintenance, unless you can, let's say the judge can use their discretion and deviate. For example, if you've been separated for years, it is highly unlikely that you are going to get maintenance. But I'll tell you the difference. If you are separated for years and you're living apart, highly unlikely you're going to get it. But you're separated and you're living into the same house, and there's still an economic partnership, and the formula results in you paying maintenance. You best believe you're going to be paying maintenance pursuant to the guidelines. So you just delay in terms of a divorce is not the best thing, especially when you are the breadwinner. Let me tell you who delay benefits. Delay benefits someone who is going to, in other words, feed off of you, meaning you're the moneyed spouse. So you failed to file earlier, so it adds on the length of time that they get maintenance, provided that they are eligible, or they have an interest in the home. And I want to encourage people who are under a misconception that if the property is purchased during the marriage and only one spouse name is on it, the other spouse doesn't benefit. That is a misconception. The law does not care whose name the property is entitled. It could be in one person's name. It's acquired during the marriage. It's subject to division, right? So I just want to clear that up, because I had a lady come to my office and she said, well, seminar get nothing out of the house because he bought it only in his name. So the next question is, when was the property acquired? And it's a woman who's been married like probably 20+ years. And she goes, well, it was bought after the marriage. Ding. Baby, that's like 50%. Yeah. 50% of the equity. I don't care. The law doesn't care whose name it's in. Let's get real. You acquire that property during the marriage, it's marital property. And with regards to your pension, even though you had it before, for any portion of that pension you're contributing to during the marriage, that's marital property. So in a divorce, the assets are going to get divided unless somebody decides that they are going to waive their interest. And one of the hardest things is people will say they don't want anything until they realize what's in the pot. And what you have to understand is in a divorce, your household is going to be divided. So each person has a separate set of bills. So it's highly unlikely, seeing that I think a one-bedroom apartment can run anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 now. And probably when you were together in that house, your share of the mortgage is $1,200. So how it is you expect your spouse not to take their full due in the assets? It doesn't make sense. You need the money. Unless your earnings are such that you don't care, then yeah, you really need the money. Everything has gone up. Food, let's say inflation is just like a 10% or something. That's impossible. You're looking at even just the water alone, the gallon of water gone up from 99 cents. For some brands, it's like $3.49, $2.99. No, this is no 10% business. And to walk away from that, yeah, it's kind of tough. So yes, and I'll tell you this, for those of you in a long marriage, you are looking at coming out 50% interest in the assets, right? So don't think that you're not going to share. And I'll tell anyone, it's best if the marriage is not working out, it is so much better to get a divorce earlier than later, because it costs you. And this is where delay actually costs. It doesn't benefit you to stay in a marriage where, unless of course you are getting a lot of economic benefits, some people stay for health insurance purposes. I think personally people should move on with their life. This is just my personal opinion. You're in a marriage, you're not happy. And this is where, for women who deal with married men, when they're in long marriages, you will get a constant assume file. And the reason you're going to get that is when that man decides to file for divorce, he's losing all his assets. He may not be ready to lose all his assets. And as a result of which, he's going to stay in that marriage. So you're there sitting and waiting and hoping for a better outcome. If you really don't have something much to offer him, he's not going to leave his wife. Because in going to you, he's losing his assets. And I'll tell you this, men are more practical. Women are more emotional. They come out of them marriage because they want to go to them new man, them in love with them new man. No. When your married man realize how much he's going to lose in his divorce, he will subscribe to the tenet that it is cheaper to keep her. And this is why for years he may not be happy. He may be so frustrated. But to think that in the wink of an eye, when he files his divorce, he is going to lose most of his life earnings, especially if his spouse is a homemaker, that's like a housewife, who definitely she's going to get maintenance because she was there rearing the kids, taking care of the home. That's contribution. And it's tough. And this is why you will find they're not going to leave their wife for you. So it's either you are just going to accept the situation or you are going to move along. Only you can make that determination. Yeah? But I'll tell you this. You take up that lifestyle, me no know good oh you gotta be blessed. Appear crosses. I gotta follow you. Me no know some people take on them the crosses there. All right. For people with a 2-year green card, right? What immigration does, because immigration has 5 years to rescind the green card. So wait, let me see what Zolalita says. Zolalita says some married men don't live with their wives anymore, but because of the things you mentioned, yeah, they still not divorcing, even though they live with another woman. I'll tell you the catchphrase to that. You cock up the inner house with a married man. You see the wife? She not say nothing. She just a wait. As soon as the man dead, a she that a come and fly down upon you like Duppy Conqueror. Why? Because she got pitch out. She named wife. And this is why ladies who are with married men, it is your job to be the thief in the night, to take what you can. They have no economic rights in debt or when he's alive. So yes, so them have to rob you. That's it. We can't explain it no better. So for people with the 2-year green card, right? What immigration does, and usually you will find that your status will be terminated if you fail to apply to remove the conditions, or if you and your spouse fail having applied to remove the conditions, you and your spouse fail to attend the interview, or if you file by yourself, because you can't file by yourself when you're looking to remove the conditions. It's either you're going to file as a divorced spouse, you're going to file as a victim of domestic violence, or you are going to file because your spouse is deceased, or you're going to suffer extreme hardship if you go back to your home country. And that's tough to prove. Yeah? So if it is that you go into the interview and you fail, and this is where people get so complacent. You think because you got the 2-year green card, you are actually on your way. I'll tell you this. Your 2-year green card means absolutely nothing. And the reason being is you're not reaching nowhere in life yet. So some people, when they file for their spouse and they come here and they like to go and they hang out at the barber shop or they hang out in the beauty salons and then get them little advice. Let him do and you're not building with your spouse. So by the time this application comes around, your spouse decides they're not going to file anything with you. And rightly so. You have failed to contribute to the marriage. And what amazes me is where it is a US citizen who, because they're the ones who really want to plan a life with you. And they're the ones, let's go and open a bank account. Oh, you know what, open a bank account with nobody. You don't want to take out no life insurance. No, I'm not put my name on a lease. I don't know who is advising you. No. I don't know who is providing you with guidance, right? Because when it's time to remove the conditions, you have no documentation. You're looking like the fool that you are because you took advice from people who, and when you cry, yeah, is your tears alone dropping on you. Because now you're in a position, because you come and you get hype. And me personally, I don't like hype people. So you come and you get hype because there was no intention to build a life. And I'll never forget my client say, Antoinette, me get up in the night. I tell her how someone a bowl. I don't know how these island households are running anymore. And she gets up in the night. And some people have gotten so disrespectful. Yeah, get up in the night and you and your girl on the phone. How is that possible? And you're still alive? In my matrimonial bed. Do you make sense? Eat your tears. Yeah, that's what's going to happen to you. You're taking guidance from people who can't help you. And when it is you are in a position, morning Debbie, when you're in a position where you need your spouse to actually make the application, she's not going to make the application or he's not going to do it. Someone not even having a side man. And this is how ridiculous things are getting in these homes. Someone having a side man. I come at the yard. No, if I wasn't in the islands, I wouldn't dare. You would not even dare to do that. And the things that people get bold and are doing whilst they're living in this place amazes me. Yeah? But when it is that immigration has discovered something that it comes to their attention that you should not have gotten the green card, and this is because of a factor that occurred before the green card, they're going to look to rescind your green card, right? If it is that the incident occurred after the green card, for example, you go on, you commit a crime, and this is why I tell you, be very careful of the friends that you keep. Some of your friends are engaging in activities where you're very fully aware of what they're doing, and you get caught up in their nonsense. Now you have a charge, and now it causes you to be deportable. Doesn't make sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense. Yeah? It's like for someone who gets arrested and they're not snitching, and then they are facing serious time. And when you are in jail, nobody not putting monies, right, on your commissary thing. Nobody is calling for you. I remember one time a client said he was begging a ride. And this is weird. You have to be careful when you beg ride from people. He was begging a ride, and unknown to him, the driver had, I can't recall if it was cocaine or whatever, under the seat. And when it is you are in a motor vehicle and they find drugs, everybody gets arrested. It is your burden in court to prove it was not you. You were not aiding in this. You're not conspiring with the person. Before that, me take my bus. Yeah, me's a girl, me take my bus. Me not shame to take my bus. Or jump on the train. I think it's what, $2.75 now? No, sir. Very careful who you take rides from, because you don't know what people are carrying in their cars. Sometimes you don't even know whether or not the car is stolen. And everybody's getting arrested for what? Nonsense. I've had clients where they're just coming out of town for a visit and taking a ride from somebody and the car is stolen. Now they get arrested. The things that you will encounter in this place. Yeah, man. Go take your bus. It never hurt. It don't hurt to jump on the bus or to take a train. And let me tell you something. I'm a person where, when I was much younger, yeah, me I run late and somebody stop and offer me a ride. Me take the ride, cause if my spirit say, all right, you're safe, me do it. This is something I would never do now. Yeah, me nah gonna lie to you, yeah. Mr. Girl, me always late. And if somebody stop and ask me, if you stop and me see the car look too flashy, me nah go. But if you stop and you look humble, yeah, you're not so hype, you not look crazy, yeah, me that take the ride, me not shame for tell you. But in this day and age, the world around different now. Young girls go take your bus, yeah, or go take your train, save your money till you can get your own. The place different. All right. So Pauline is asking, how does maintenance work? Is it that the partner who makes the most money pays the maintenance to the other? Well, I'll tell you this. Yes, the person has to make a higher sum than the prospective payee of maintenance. But generally, with the formula, it will trigger. We try to find out whether or not the person makes like more than 20,000 to really trigger the formula for you to get something, right? So definitely it is the breadwinner who is going to be subject to maintenance. And I'll tell you this, ladies, the man them nowadays not come like the man back in the day with your parents. They might look at money off of you too. So don't think that chivalry is alive. No, they might look them due. And your money, I gotta maintain them new girl. Yeah. So this is why, if it is, it's not working out. Good morning, Irene. He's listening from Yonkers. If it is that really and truly, it's not working out, who you benefit when you delay your divorce? No, sir. Me? Me tell you me a hurricane. It now work out, my gun. Yeah. All right. So for any incident that occurs after the green card, this is not a rescission issue. This is a deportation issue. You're going to be issued a notice to appear in immigration court for your removal proceedings. And if it is that you're inclined to a life of crime, anyone who is engaging in any form of criminal activity, and you are a green card holder, you must be prepared mentally that in the event you get caught, you're going home, dependent on the type of crimes. If your crime falls within the ambit of an aggravated felony, there are no waivers for that. So get ready to depart the United States. But I don't know what if people have a fear of deportation anymore, because as they get deported, they come right back in through the border. Yeah. And people just come in and they live in the shadows. Yeah. Because they know if they get caught, they're gonna deport them again. So I can't say how effective deportation is these days, because everybody just coming over the border. All right, so the day when your green card is rescinded, it goes back to the day that you actually got the green card status. And I'll show you how dangerous this is. If it is that you are now a citizen, they are going to do a denaturalization proceeding, which is a court proceeding, because I have to get rid of the citizenship first. Having removed the citizenship, then they will do the rescission. Oftentimes, what they will do after the denaturalization is just put in a deportation proceedings. Simple. Same so. They just put in removal proceedings. They're not bother with the rescission. Yeah. You just get your notice to appear. Now, I want to discuss the dangers of actually losing the green card and how it affects family members, yeah, who have benefited from a green card that has been rescinded. If it is that your green card is rescinded, but whilst you are a green card holder, let's say you had filed for your spouse, you had filed for your children, what's going to happen is they too are going to lose their status as a green card holder. And one of the things I told my client is your wife is not going to want to have any contact with you. Because when she was coming, she didn't mention she was married to you. And she's in jeopardy, and so is her son, of losing their card. So they're going to avoid you like the plague. And this is what is happening. So for example, you go ahead and you engage in a sham marriage. So if it is that you engage in a sham marriage, and what you'll find is where your friends, because the Bible tells you it is those that are close to you that will fail you. It is not your enemy. Your enemy can't know your business. No way. Me not ask Christ. A girl out a road where me not chat to, I gonna know my business. Because first of all, anybody me and she have as mutual friend get cut immediately. Me tell her I'm serious. It's a serious girl. So there's no way there's gonna be anybody to care about news. But here it is, your friend, your confidant, someone who you trust. Yeah? And this is why they have the whole spousal privilege, right? Someone who you trust. You tell them your business. Because there is that trust level. And they know all your dirty secrets. They know where the bodies are buried. They know where the dirty laundry is kept. And here it is that they knew that you engaged in a sham marriage. And you are them kick off. And you get hyped now. And you forgot that them know your business. And this is where I have a cousin, she said, if you have a secret, the only person you should tell is yourself. Yeah, man, you want to tell somebody, take a mirror, Go before that mirror and discuss the secret. So you lose your mind now, you and your friend kick off, and you've forgotten somehow that you told this person where the bodies are buried. What do you think is going to happen? They are going to reach out to immigration and disclose that you had engaged in a sham marriage. So no, you had moved on from that marriage, you had gotten remarried, filed for your spouse, filed for your kids. Everybody loses their green card. And this is where everybody suffers, because it's nearly like the fruit of the poisonous tree. It can't bear good fruit. The first green card was bad. So everybody green card coming after that is not going to hold water. And this is why you have to understand, when there is a flaw in your green card that can cause you to lose it, anyone who has benefited from a card because of you, they're at risk and they're gonna lose it. So the government, in serving this rescission, they're gonna serve it personally, or they'll serve it via certified mail, or they'll send it in your USCIS account. And that's why sometimes people scared to create a USCIS account. Yeah, because if the mail come and they're no longer living at that place, they can challenge it. And so they never get served. Yeah, it is what it is. So if you have ever received this notice of an intent to rescind your green card, you better respond. If you fail to respond, the next thing is removal proceedings. If you respond, then here it is, you're battling it out in court. So be very careful. And if you have a secret, keep it to yourself. This, I don't know how other people deem this place. Yeah? The friends you make back home, you'll never make them here. I'll tell you that. You won't. Right? Now, we don't know about other people. This is a place you meet every form of crosses. Yeah? I don't think you buck upon wicked people like how you buck upon wicked people here. People at your job. You're working with them. Yet still they're the same ones carrying back news to the boss to undermine your position and to get you fired. They are the same ones, if you are considering a promotion, will let the higher-ups know you don't qualify for the position. These are your friends, and these are the friends that you're keeping. Sometimes the enemy is in your own home. You are trying to achieve certain things, and everywhere you turn, it's a fight. There is no support, right? There is no encouragement. There is nothing to elevate you. And when you're with someone and they don't want to see growth for you, because you have insecure people, and where it is that they don't want to see growth for you. And sometimes it's your own spouse blackmailing you. So you can't leave the marriage. You have to stay. Whether you want to or not, them know your secret. So you have to stay. And this is why sometimes you see people get missing. And they go, oh, he was such a good person. No, he was crosses. Yeah. This is a place I'm going to encourage my viewers. Be very careful. When you have your plans, sometimes don't readily share it with people, because not everyone really and truly is going to be happy for you. And people you surround yourself with, they're the same ones who are going to undermine you. And I'm going to encourage you, be around positive people, people who can enhance your growth. They can assist you in achieving certain things, because some people are they're dream catchers. They catch a dream and they kill it. Anyway, thank you for joining us this Sunday. Don't forget to like the live, and don't forget to share the live. There may be someone who will benefit from the information. Have a happy Sunday. Stay blessed. Spend some time with your family.